And if this video can change just one person's behavior online, I'm gonna be thankful. I truly am. So to all of my keyboard warriors, commenters, trolls, internet appraisers, whatever you want to call yourselves, before you start going clickety 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 clack on your keyboard, please ask yourself a few questions. Number one, are you adding value? Number two, are you being respectful? Number three, does everybody else need to see or care what you're typing down in those comments? What's up guys, welcome back to the infamous project. Today's video gonna be a little bit different. It is inspired by me wanting to rant a little bit, taking a step back, taking a deep breath, counting to 10, and then saying, how can I structure this in a more positive manner that can help and benefit all of us in the Foxbody marketplace community. And you know what? It's not even necessarily for Foxbodies, it could be for any car. It could be for a daily driver, it could be for a truck, it could be for anything. And what has inspired this is that recently I've had a couple vehicles that are for sale, and one of them being the ultra low mile 1990 red notchback that I recently picked up. Now, that car was about the chase. I originally saw it a couple of years ago. I wanted it really bad back then. And then finally, a couple of years later, the seller decided to finally sell me the car. As a result, well, now I live in Texas. I'm not up in Canada anymore. And priorities change and everything else. So although I went ahead and bought the car anyways, I've pretty much established it's not for me. So, well, what do I have to do with the car? I got to advertise it. And while the days of Auto Trader are gone, the days of advertising in the newspaper are gone. I shouldn't say they're gone because they still exist. However, if you want visibility, you want to maybe actually find a buyer, you need to get with the times. In fact, Craigslist is pretty much obsolete. If you're in Canada, you got Kijiji, which is still somewhat active in reality. However, eBay. I have seen eBay over the past few years make a strong rebrand, marketing push. Saw this mostly at SEMA last year for eBay Motors. I think they were even giving away that 2JZ Lightning swap. But let me tell you, eBay, even with everything that they've done, I've tried the car. The car's now been relisted for the second time. The visibility, the amount of views that car would have got on the eBay that we knew 10 years ago versus the eBay today, like a 10th at best. And the reason why I went to eBay is, number one, I wanted to give them a shot. Number two, I thought, you know what? I would weed out all of the bullshit that we see on Facebook Marketplace listings. And that's pretty much where this video is gonna go today, is talking about our options on where to sell and where to buy, for that matter, because the two go hand in hand. I could split this up and do a buying video versus a selling video, but both parties are at fault, and at some point we are a buyer and we are a seller. So it's all going in this one video. The other option that, or I guess marketplace or medium that has recently risen in popularity, talking about eBay, is actually Bring a Trailer. Bring a Trailer is a really great resource. However, it lacks for a few reasons. And number one is the wait time. Like, if I want to sell something today, you better get in line. You're not getting your listing up on Bring a Trailer right away. But with that said, I have to commend them in terms of keeping consistency and having thorough listings. Like, guys, the moderation that goes into Bring a Trailer, the amount of media and descriptive content that they require is top notch. And it's great because what it's going to do is it's going to force the seller to give a really accurate description of what it is that they're selling. And Bring a Trailer might even say, nope, we don't even want to list that, which could be a little disappointing. Like, would they accept the ship box Fox if I wanted to sell it? Who knows? Every channel or every medium or source marketplace has its pros and cons, but ultimately, and I almost want to say unfortunately, Facebook has taken over in terms of where we go now to find stuff. Now, ideally, if you're wanting to buy a car, I always say the best cars to buy are the ones that are not advertised. So that way you're not dealing with a potential seller that thinks that they have gold when they really don't. You're not trying to compete with every other tire kicker, keyboard warrior, troll, and maybe potential buyer out there. You can see where a little bit of my frustration is coming in right now. Yeah, so if you can find that car that is that pocket listing, the neighbor down the road, or the old dude in the barn, or the friend of the friend of the friend that knows about this car that might be for sale, try those first, guys. If you are a serious buyer, last resort, check the internet. And if you are checking the internet and you find a listing, you better be ready to jump on that listing. You better, if they have a phone number, call the damn number. Don't text, don't send a message, call the damn number. Because let me tell you, the first guy to call the number is probably going to end up buying the car on you. And meanwhile, you'd be like, oh, well, I sent you a message and you didn't get back to me. Yeah, probably didn't get back to you because there's 100 other people trying to jump on the deal. Now, with that said, just because there's a phone number doesn't mean that it's a good deal. I'm just saying, if it is what you want and you see a phone number, take advantage of that. If they say text only, text them only. If they say, if the listing is up, it's still available, don't send the stupid, hey, is this still available, automatic message that Facebook has put in their platform. Guys, I do not know why Facebook did that. It is the stupidest thing. If you can't type your own inquiry, then you shouldn't even be inquiring at all. So that is super annoying and frustrating. I ignore them all. If I get anything that says, hey, is this available, or hey, is this still for sale, it's ignored. So do yourself a favor, because I know I'm not the only one that's like that, and make sure that you actually type like a message of value that is going to get a potential response. Be willing to put the money down right away. Of course, guys, you need to do due diligence. If the deal seems too good to be true, if the seller isn't known, make sure you check their profile, make sure you see what group that they're part of. You know, if you're just on generic marketplace, there's tons of scams out there, versus if you're in a Foxbody, a Facebook group. It could be specific to Foxbodies, right? We got like premium, notch, and coupes only. We have Foxbody Classifieds Ontario, Canada. We have all of these different groups that there is some moderation in those. And thankfully, there is some moderation. And this is getting into what I want to say. You need to ask yourself, guys, what type of buyer and what type of seller, or what type of enthusiast are you? And if this video can change just one person's behavior online, I'm going to be thankful. I truly am. Call it the academic in me from all those years that I worked in higher education. A little bit of it has rubbed off, even though I was on the administrative side. I do genuinely feel like helping others when they don't even realize what they're doing is a great thing, right? So if you are somebody who goes in the comments and finds something wrong with someone's description, or find something wrong with a picture, and you're just in there to post because you feel like you're doing them a favor, ask yourselves, are you really doing them a favor by your comment? For instance, the red notch, the low mile 1990 red notch that I'm trying to sell. In my video, which was filmed pretty much in this corner over here when I was narrating, you know, I at one point say, oh, the car was fully loaded. If you look at the pictures, you look at the video, you're going to notice that it's missing power windows and locks. It has AC, it has cruise, it has rear defrost, it has all those things except power windows, power locks. I made a mistake because, well, when you're filming and you have multiple Foxbodies, sometimes you don't remember everything. So I get a guy that did not only message me on Kijiji, but he also messaged and commented on the video. Like, oh, hey, you know, you said it had this, but it has that. And then the other comment's like, yeah, all this and you said that, and you're asking this much for it. What value are you adding to my listing? Seriously. And guys, I could go on and on and on forever, especially about Foxbody pricing. I know a good friend of mine, Joey Boost, wants to bite his tongue because a lot of us that, I want to say, have some Foxbodies that we're asking a lot of money for. A lot of people have opinions and things to say, and you need to ask yourself, is your opinion adding value? Does your opinion matter? So sometimes, yes, there's validity in constructive criticism, but trolling, keyboard warring, if you're not even interested in potentially buying something, why are you commenting on a seller's ad? It's a for sale ad. It's not a post of, here is my car that, you know, I took out this weekend and I washed and I waxed it and it has all these mods done to it. That's asking for attention. That's asking for feedback. That's asking for comfort. And, you know, you just want the warm and fuzzies that other enthusiasts have for your car. If you're trying to sell a car or you see a for sale ad, that's not what the poster or the seller is asking for, guys. So refrain from the useless, non-constructive criticism and feedback. All right, that's all I can say there. Now, sellers, if you post up 1 or 2 blurry pictures of your car that does not accurately show the overall condition, and your description is like 2 lines, you probably shouldn't be posting. And that's a job for moderators, a lot of moderators. And you gotta love those posts too that people don't even put a price. It's like, put a location, put a price, be descriptive if you wanna be able to sell the shit that you have. So, lesson to the sellers. Guys, if you don't have everything that is going to potentially equip the buyer to be able to make a sound decision on whether or not they possibly want to buy your car, then go back and go get some more pictures. We all have smartphones. Like, there's really no excuse anymore. And I get it. Some of us struggle at writing. Get a friend to write the ad. Reach out to another enthusiast. Be like, hey man, you know my car well. Do you mind writing a description for me? And I've actually done this for somebody. I drove 3 hours with a good friend of mine here up to Dallas to go look at what seemed to be really nice GT. And I was banking on the fact that the ad wasn't as descriptive as it could have been. And unfortunately, yeah, he needed to be more honest and transparent about that listing. So I actually wrote the ad. I said, listen, dude, this isn't the car for us, but it is a nice car for somebody, but you got to be honest about these few things. I'm going to write the listing for you. Well, let me tell you, I wrote the listing for him. Not only did he get more money, but he actually sold the car, I think, within 2 days. So please don't ask me to write your listings, guys. I have more than enough on my plate, but just goes to show that it is really important what you write, because you might sell your shit faster and you might get more money for it. So keep that in mind. Now, with that said, buyers, sometimes a really shitty listing could be a needle in a haystack or a diamond in the rough, right? Like, Sometimes you can almost benefit from that. You might get a really good deal on something because nobody wants to invest the time or effort. They just assume, oh, okay, his post is really shitty. That car's not worth my time. We've all heard the stories about, somebody who didn't have any pictures at all, somebody who had a really bad description, and the car ended up being something amazing. So you got to keep that in mind as well. Of course, I would love that everybody would have perfect listings and buyers would be perfect and ready to buy and not just tire kick, but it's not the reality that we live in, unfortunately. So, like I said, I just wanted to rant a little bit, share a little bit of that stuff with you guys, mostly around how we communicate when we're trying to buy and sell one of our cars. And I really hope that you guys take some of this advice that's in this video today. And honestly, there could probably be a full-blown curriculum, like 11, 12 lesson, study plan with a test at the end and quiz all you guys on it. But it's really easy, guys. Find the different places that you want to post your car. And please don't, Facebook allows you to, post it here, post it there. You can post the exact same damn thing in as many groups that use the same Facebook marketplace template. And then you get to post it to the general marketplace as well, which is, you're opening yourself up to a whole other can of worms when you do that. But that's annoying as hell as well. Most of these large Foxbody groups have all the same members. Therefore, when you're scrolling through your feed, you're going to end up seeing the same damn car for sale 5, 6, 8 times, depending on how many of these groups that you follow. So keep that in mind as well, guys. Pick the group, just pick a few. Please don't pick them all, where you feel your car is going to get the most exposure. And you know what? If it doesn't work in one group, try it for a week. Take it off that group, post it in another group. That's maybe my recommendation. I had an older listing. I took that older listing down because it probably got shoved down to the bottom. I had other details that I wanted to share. So I created a new listing with new pictures, new information, almost like when a house goes off the market and gets posted up again, right? So don't let your stuff go stale. Be as descriptive as you can. When you're trying to sell stuff, figure out the platforms that are going to work for you. And like I said, as a buyer, always check those old school ways of selling, right? Check your Auto Traders, check your Craigslist, check the eBays, because they are not as well viewed or traveled online, so to speak, these days as they once were. So you might be able to find a pretty good deal. If you are a seller, unfortunately, you got to be where all the people are and where those possibilities are to see the exposure. If you're willing to wait and you have something that's worthy of bring a trailer, I would recommend that. You guys are maybe wondering, do I recommend Barrett Jackson or Meckham or any of those auctions? Well, there's lots of fees and commission, and those auctions only happen at certain points. So if you're trying to sell something tomorrow and the auction is a couple months away, well, that might not be what you're looking for. At the same time, if you've got the right car, you feel like it could fetch the money after all of the logistics and commissions and everything else, maybe you want to hold out and go that route. But otherwise, you know what I mean? We're stuck in marketplace right now, I feel. Unless you guys have some other ideas on a great way to sell. I throw stuff up in my stories on Instagram and stuff like that sometimes, but it's kind of limiting. And then I got to deal with all of the reactions to my stories, the little fire emojis and the hundreds and the, whatever. Sometimes it'd be, you're crazy or whatever else it might be that's spoken in this lovely, convenient world that we call social media, which, being a tech guy, and maybe because I'm getting a little bit older, I truly love to hate. So I'm going to wrap this video up here. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully some of you guys are going to think twice before you go to sell something, before you comment on something. before you try and message on something. Please guys, let's be respectful. Let's keep things in context. Let's be polite, and don't even get me started on online handshake deals. I think I've touched on that enough in my videos in the past and frustrations there. Guys, let's go back to where our word is our word, and that we have some values, and that we don't undercut people, we don't cheat people out of deals. Let's try and get a little bit more trust in people. I know it's a huge ask. I still go by my word to this day, and a lot of times I'm disappointed, but sometimes I'm pleasantly surprised. And the guys that end up making me, or gals, that pleasantly surprise me. And there are gals. Gal bought the Cali Coupe, which unfortunately she had to sell to another individual due to some personal things. But, you know, that was a Instagram handshake deal that worked out fabulously. And those are the people that I want to stay closer to in my life. So with that said, thank you for watching. Thank you for your support. And as always, we'll see you here next time on the Infamous Project.